Here are some highlights of this program.
Hello everybody.
Welcome to Brainstorm exclusive interview.
Our education should be corrected, adapted, and updated.
Live better, they can send their children to school because they can interact with their authorities.
Mechanics, electricity, computer science, innovation,
And we know that this Brainstorm.
Yourself after watching this interesting program, notice the final statement made by our notable guest, a brand new one. Welcome to Brainstorm. The police and public order in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. That is it. So today's a topic we're going to deal with my friend on this platform, Sam Chakala, a motivator. Here are some key points we're going to examine, or questions. Why do citizens need police in society, in everyday life? And what kind of services do they provide for population? To what extent do they contribute to law enforcement? We're going just to talk about these things in depth, and you'd like you to pay close attention to this program while we're discussing this relevant topic. Hello, Sam Chakala.
Yo, hello, Guy. How are you doing?
My own pleasure just to welcome you again.
Okay, so I'm very delighted for being invited here on your set for the second time.
You become a bit a regular guest. Regularly come here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So really interesting. Thank you for the consideration.
Okay, the police and public order in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about this subject. It's very important.
Very important.
Congolese society especially. So what is police in any given society?
Yeah, when we talk about police is an official organization responsible for maintaining public order. There's what I can say about the police.
So when you hear police, you also hear public order.
We hear public order because we cannot talk about police without alluding public order. Normally, for having something in my definition, I can say not only responsible for maintaining public order, and also for maintaining safety or security, preventing, detecting, and investigating criminal activities.
Those are explanations provided clearly. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like you to know, because a lot of people don't understand or don't know exactly who is a policeman. Please watch this video that defines who is a policeman, and we'll be back.
Policeman. A policeman is a composite of what all men are, I guess, a mingling of saint and sinner, dust and deity. Culled statistics, wave the fan over stinkers, underscore instances of dishonesty and brutality because they are news. What that really means is that they are exceptional, they are unusual, they are not commonplace. Buried under the froth is the fact. And the fact is that less than 0.5% of policemen misfit that uniform. And that is a better average than you'd find among clergymen. What is a policeman? He of all men is at once the most needed and the most wanted, a strangely nameless creature who is sir to his face and pig or worse behind his back. He must be such a diplomat that he can settle differences between individuals so that each will think he won, but if a policeman is neat, he's conceited. If he's careless, he's a bum. If he's pleasant, he's a flirt. If he's not, he's a grouch. He must make instant decisions which would require months for a lawyer, but if he hurries, he's careless. If he's deliberate, he's lazy. He must be first to an accident, infallible with a diagnosis. He must be able to start breathing, stop bleeding, tie splints, and above all, be sure the victim goes home without a limp or expect to be sued. The police officer must know every gun, draw on the run, and hit where it doesn't hurt. He must be able to whip two men twice his size and half his age without damaging his uniform and without being brutal. If you hit him, he's a coward. If he hits you, he's a bully. A policeman must know everything and not tell. He must know where all of the sin is and not partake. The policeman from a single human hair must be able to describe the crime, the weapon, the criminal, and tell you where the criminal is hiding, but if he catches the criminal, he's lucky. If he doesn't, he's a dunce. If he gets promoted, he has political pull. If he doesn't, he's a dullard. The policeman must chase bum leads to a dead end, stake out 10 nights to tag one witness who saw it happen but refuses to remember. He runs files and writes reports until his eyes ache to build a case against some felon who will get dealed out by a shameless Seamus or an honorable who isn't honorable. The policeman must be a minister, a social worker, a diplomat, a tough guy, and a gentleman. And of course he'll have to be a genius because he'll have to feed a family on a policeman's salary.
Yes, so why do citizens need police in everyday life?
Yeah, so very, very, very interesting when in policy. Why? Because, you know, if I try to talk about the pyramid of need of Abraham Maslow, you can see that Maslow is explaining five needs that is so really important in human being. The first, it is, if I'm not mistaken, self-actualization. The second, it is esteem. The third, it is love. And the fourth, it is safety or security. So we need security. Why we need security? Because we have property, and we need our property to be protected. But how our property can be protected? So, you know, alone we not be able to protect our property or to protect our life ourselves. It will be very impossible. Reason why the police is there for us for all life. So it's really interesting it's very interesting to talk about police, because we cannot talk about a good security without taking into account of police. That's all I can say about it.
There's really a need. It's sound ideas you are telling people and even citizens to watch you now. And what kind of services do police provide in the society?
Yeah, police they have a lot of services, but let me tell you only two services that are really relevant. So, you know, when we talk about police, the first one, it is the service support. Service support. When I'm talking about service support, it means what you can have a problem in your home or with your neighbor. Okay, sometimes that you're gonna have a problem, or they have killed your son, like that. But you cannot do yourself justice. No, it's impossible. Normally, you have to need police support. And the second, I'm going to talk about the response emergencies. When do we talk about response emergencies? When we talk about response emergency, it's me that you can, I mean that at the midnight, but you are affected by a criminal. There you have anything to do because you don't have gun. Normally, you have to call the police officer. They will intervene.
So now, to what extent do they contribute to law enforcement? Because in any states, there is law, especially rule of law states. Yeah, exactly. To what extent do they contribute to law enforcement?
When I'm talking about that, they contribute to law. When we talk about law enforcement, it is the execution of law. When we talk about that, you saw that when we talk about police, they contribute so much. Why? Because, you know, when they execute, you know, the law, they play a good role. Well, you know, when you say we have, for time, we have a lot of bars. Sometimes they do what you call a zone of pollution. You know, when the police they confiscate the speaker of all barmen. It's the law. They are executing the law. There we can say that the law enforcement is good executed.
What does a police officer can do in a society? So in this video, you're going to watch an American police officer describing his job in a society. Please watch this video and we'll be back.
Hi, this is Bo Babkin. I'm coming to you from the Cottonwood Heights Police Department in Utah. And the next question is, what do police officers do? Well, besides what most people think is maybe just having donuts and hanging out at the 7-Eleven, they do quite a bit. Remember that police officers are the caretakers or the gatekeepers of our society. So they do everything from enforcing the law to try and prevent crime, to investigate crime. They also try and reach out to the community to build those relationships in case crimes are occurring, and try and figure out how to solve some of the problems that go on. And so police officers play a pretty intricate role in our communities, and they don't always, all the lights and the sirens and the adrenaline rush, that's not all that they do. They also spend a tremendous amount of time writing reports, building cases for court, and other things like that. And those are some of the most important things that they do. But a lot of times they spend their time protecting and trying to prevent crime.
All right. Now let's focus on DRC.
DRC, yeah.
Do Congolese citizens trust policemen? If no, why?
Yeah, you know what? We have to ask ourselves a question, when do we talk about confidence? How can I trust in you? How can I trust in you? This is a basic question that we have to ask. Guy, if I can trust in you only because you don't think better, because you have just done something interesting in my life, there I can trust in you because we have just done a good deal with you. There I can trust in you. To say Congolese people normally they don't trust on the police. Why? I give you a reason. Today the policemen they don't take their responsibility. Why? They don't take their responsibility because first the policemen they arrest only girl and boy.
Why?
There we call it when couple they are there only for the couple. They know that when they will arrest couple they will have something in their pocket. But when if it sometimes in Makwade we are so afraid by the Kununa phenomenon. But the police they don't intervene. Sometimes they are afraid of Kununa phenomenon. Do you see? So they don't take into account of the job so very good. So normally, I'm telling you, even in my quarter, we don't trust on the police.
So you mean that they disobey law because they're supposed to work according to the regulations, the law. So why they arbitrarily arrest people, especially girls and boys?
Exactly, because what you have just said is already better. But we have to go first into the definition of police. The police they are there, they are responsible for making sure that the law, the people they obey the law, and for maintaining protection of population. But if they are not doing that, we cannot trust on them.
So they supposed to secure people and their property or their belongings. So
sometimes.
So now there is a crisis in terms of confidence.
Confidence.
They don't trust in them.
Yeah, exactly.
So do they misuse the power? Do they don't exercise their authority correctly?
They do it badly sometimes. They do it badly.
But now there's another question. So do Congolese policemen as public servants work in good conditions?
Yeah, this is a good point. But little bit. To say no, it will shock a lot of people. We have our government. Little bit, because they have, every month they have their salary, okay? But it's not so enough. It's not so a lot, but they have their salary regularly.
So poor work condition justify a misconduct on their part?
They are fighting. They are fighting. But to say that the policemen, they are working in a good condition, if I say yes, I will be a liar in your set. Even the people who are watching on house, they will say, oh, this guy is a liar. Normally, the policemen, they are not working in a good condition. Why? Because they are other policemen, they don't have even equipment, They don't have equipment. My big brother told me when he was in Mbandundu, he told me there, they don't have a dress, the dress of the policeman. They don't have it. Sometimes you can see somebody with only the boots that they often put. You can see one policeman with a boot. Other people, you can see him only with that t-shirt. But they don't have even the suitable equipment when you go to Mbandundu. But here in Kinshasa, we see that the policemen, they have the equipment sometimes. But when we talk about also about the gun, about the gun, the guns are very terrible, very terrible. If you see even the gun of the policeman, you will cry, man. You will cry. So we need to buy equipment. We need to buy equipment. We need to equip people, our policemen. So in that way, we will see that we do a better job.
So from your perspective, you justify the misconduct of police simply because they have poor working conditions, right? Yeah, right. So they're right to do whatever they like, misbehaving.
No.
Because they don't have equipment, suitable equipment, and they don't have satisfying working conditions.
But in the beginning, I told you that the policemen, they are not doing their job correctly. Why? But I didn't talk about the salary. Do you understand? I know that all month the police they have something regularly. Okay, but me I can say this Congo. You know, my first intervention when I was with you, I spoke about the mindset. Sometime, yes, you know, we cannot we only develop this country when we will have a positive mindset. Okay? Sometimes I see a lot of people, they have money, but they still corrupt. You know, it's only a bad will.
I know you researched this topic thoroughly before coming here on this platform. Yeah. So we want to know, what does it take for a police to do a good job?
They need to be in good condition. They need to be educated, because there are other policemen. They've never been in training.
So how did they get there? Since they've
not
been
there's
trained.
A reason. You know what we call today in Kinshasa Shida. Do you know Shida? I'm sorry for that. Yeah. Shida.
But that's a serious problem, because it comes to nation security.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
there is no joke on
in Kinshasa, we live reality and reality. You know what we call Shida? Shida to me, that if you have your uncle there and is working there, you know, they can include your name because you will have a salary, you know, because the salary is so regular. Do you understand? We call it Shida. So, police, you know, in Kinshasa, there is no training. We see people. You see people in your quarter. Only it didn't even do 1 month or 3 months. Directly, you can see him with the gun, with the sword. But sometimes we ask a question. Sometimes. But this guy will be able to defend people, will be able to protect the property of population. Very boring.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like you to see the facts on this video by watching how Congolese policemen are using gas just to repel protesters on the street. Please watch to be back.
Police fired tear gas to clear hundreds trying to force their way into the parliament building in the capital, Kinshasa. They are supporters of President Felix Tshisekedi, infuriated by what they see as a judicial power grab in parliament. His party, the Union for Democracy and Social Progress, says the proposals would muzzle the judiciary and undermine the independence of judges. A ploy, they say, to protect the party of former President Joseph Kabila. As hundreds surround Parliament, others set fire to properties owned by Kabila and his associates.
This law reform is very dangerous to our justice system. We are here to express our opposition. We didn't vote for MPs so they would support such reforms in Parliament.
If passed, judges would be under the jurisdiction of the Justice Minister, a position held by the opposition party of former President Joseph Kabila, the Common Front for Congo, or FCC. It also holds a majority in parliament and government.
Parliament is blocking the development of this country. We say no to this law. It would create trouble in our justice system. The former ruling coalition must be aware that we are the voters and we have power.
Kabila supporters say their proposals are meant to fight corruption by defining the oversight powers of the Justice Ministry. FCC Chief Noémie Wilanya issued a warning to protesters.
Careful. Protesters must realize that everyone knows how it starts, but not how it ends.
Congolese politicians have been seen by many as untouchable, a perception that appears to be changing. On Saturday, the president's own chief of staff, Vital Kamerhe, was sentenced to 20 years of hard labor for stealing public money. He is the highest official ever convicted of corruption in the DRC. The conviction has earned praise for the president and the courts, but there's clearly disagreement about how independent the courts should be. Katia Lopez-Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
So, can you honestly assert that Congolese policemen are corruption-free? you laugh.
I cannot say, I cannot say, it is what we are living. It is what we are living even today. Before coming here, I told you that I was in a motorcycle, The driver of my motorcycle was arrested. Was arrested at Romprengaba, but we didn't go to the office. And the guy said, "Give me only something. I live here."
And I think the problem lies because where citizens, they do not know the law, they do not know Constitution. That's why policemen sometimes take advantage of the situation to ask for bribe.
Exactly. So we need. So when you go in a broad country, you can see the people, they get familiar with their law. But here, a lot of people, they don't know their law. This is a big matter also. This is a big matter. So corruption, it is every day. We are living corruption every day.
So it means that every Congolese doesn't trust a policeman.
They don't trust because when you go, you don't trust. I don't know how to explain that, Guy. Run Gaba, they ask you money. Even if they arrest you, you know that you will not go to the office. You will give them something.
But now, I'd like you just to make a little comment about Congolese policemen and road traffic. Now let's come to the road traffic, because here we wanted to base on police in the given society, places. But now here about the road traffic.
Yeah, when we
talk, make a comment on what
thank you for that. When we talk about road traffic, the first thing that we have to, my first point would be first training. There are a lot of drivers, they've never been trained. They don't know they don't know the code. They don't know the code. This is a big matter, because the government must normally control all drivers. You cannot be on the road without being trained, because you can know how to drive, but what about the code? First driving. And the second, we have to know that every day the people they are buying cars, the people they are buying motorcycle, and the road, we are not extending the road, Every day people they are buying car and motorcycle, but it's not every day that they are extending the road, or they are arranging, or they are building at the road. No, it's not every day, and we have to know that it's a reality. And the second, let me give you the third point. It is about those people, the police. I come there, the police sometimes. Them say they make a traffic jam sometimes. They make a traffic jam. When you say the car is commits an infraction, okay, or a contravention, normally you have to know how to treat the problem. How do you want to proceed? The first thing you need to make a prospection. You talk with him, because it's the part of quality. When we talk about policemen, the policemen, they have also their quality. Among their quality, we have also a communication skills. How to interact when somebody has made mistake. But here, unfortunately, we don't do that.
Traffic jam in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the government, even some scientists, Congolese scientists, they do their best just to design a robotic traffic cops, just to help ease a traffic jam in Congolese society or different roads. Please watch this video when we're back.
The Congolese capital, Kinshasa, has one of the worst traffic problems in the region. In the sprawling city of over 12 million, residents often say they plan their lives around the heavy traffic, which usually continues throughout the day. Driving short distances can often take hours. It's confusion, it's chaos everywhere. As you can see, people don't even observe simple traffic rules. Everybody wants to get in on the road at the same time. The traffic patterns are very unpredictable in the city. If you are driving to a location less than a mile away, you might need to give yourself 60 minutes lead time. And sometimes it's even faster to walk. Disgusted by the city's traffic, Seresa Aize, a Congolese engineer, set out to find a solution, working under the umbrella organization of Congolese women engineers. They developed a homegrown innovation dubbed robotic traffic lights. It's an invention that makes it difficult for motorists to get away with traffic violations.
The robot has two important applications. The first application is for road safety. It functions like any traffic lights in the world. The second application is the surveillance cameras. The robots send images in real time to the monitoring team.
The solar-powered aluminum robots are gigantic. Towering over the streets are jammed with cars and motorcycles. blasting their horns and jostling for room. Many commuters are forced to travel in old vehicles that often leave them stranded.
What's right about the robot is that it gives you clear signals. Unlike traffic police, I think the robot is better because they don't stop and talk to you.
I prefer the robot because you cannot distract the robot and the traffic police can ask for money. So, I prefer the robot.
Since 2013, these robots have been helping to control traffic with rotating chest and surveillance cameras that record the flow of traffic and send real-time images to the police station, who use the footage to monitor infractions. What started out as a pilot project has now expanded beyond the capital city to include Lumumbashi and Matadi. Isaiah says this technology is being adopted in other countries in the region.
We are ready. We are waiting for other countries to invite us to transfer our technology, and we have already signed a contract with CAR. We are waiting for them to finance the project. We are in talks with Ivory Coast, Congo, Brazzaville, and Gabon.
Not all motorists are fully on board with the robots.
The robot works fine, it's good, but sometimes it does not work very well. We drivers sometimes don't follow its signals.
Some critics say that at a cost of about $25,000 per unit, the robots are too expensive for most of the cities in the region. Reporting for VOA News, Paul Ndiho, downtown Kinshasa.
There are some positive things such as robotic cops invited, designed by Congolese people themselves just to help ease road traffic.
Yeah.
So why are Congolese drug dealers and criminals not afraid of policemen?
Yeah, because the policemen, they don't know their responsibility, you know. Because like I told you, we need to go into training, you know. Because, you know, when you go in a broad country, they don't joke. They don't joke. If they tell you stop, you have to stop. If they tell you do this, you have to do this. You know, in US, you know, the other day I was handling my phone. I see our Congolese man was killed by a policeman. Why? Because the policeman tell him to stop the car, but he didn't stop the car. Because, you know, when they tell you to stop the car, normally you have to stop the car and you cannot get off the car. By him, he got off the car. And normally the police, they tell him to get on the car, he refuses. And when he refuses, instead of getting on the car, but he didn't do it, and they stop, you know, having some movement with the police, and by having a movement, and after that the policeman pick him and a gun.
But that shot has been condemned by United States Justice.
Yeah, United States. Yeah, normally if we see the case, normally the policeman, he doesn't have a problem normally. But the fact of putting gun on picking gun or arming people and gunning people, this now it's not good normally. Even if somebody has committed an infraction, you have to know how to manage, because it, like I told you, the quality of a good policeman, communication skill, critical thinking, we have to have all the quality. When a policeman has all the quality, you can feel that he will better do his job.
There's another concern on the part of people. They wanted to know why do Congolese policemen require money to victims of wrongdoing when they call on them for intervention.
But it's an anti-value. It's an anti-value.
An anti-value.
It's an anti-value. We cannot accept that. Even in the government, they don't know that. It's themselves. Sometimes when they often get organized, they often create their thing. But normally it's not known. You are informing me that, because I know that it's something which has an impact. But normally it's not known in our law. So normally, because the population, the policemen, they are paid by the government. It's not to me to pay the policeman. This is very impossible.
We'd like you to watch another video on what happened to policemen sometimes when doing their job. Please watch this video and we're back.
An attack against the prison in eastern DRC resulted in the death of at least 2 police officers and the escape of over 800 prisoners. According to military sources, the attack took place on Tuesday night and was allegedly carried out by the Allied Democratic Forces militia. A military detainee recounts the events. The attackers came at 2 o'clock. They were ADF. Bullets rang out whilst we were fast asleep. Suddenly we woke up. The assailants had a chainsaw with which they tore off the padlocks. The militia group is accused of being responsible for the massacres of thousands of civilians in eastern Congo and of having also committed attacks in Uganda. The enemy has infiltrated, sneaked into our neighborhoods, where we live. We must make the effort to find them wherever they are hidden. According to a prison source who requested anonymity, of the 872 people held in the prison, only 49 remained.
Yes, we're going a little by little to the end of our talk show. So what are some requirements to become a policeman?
Yeah, according to our law, for becoming a policeman, first you need to be Congolese. You need to have a Congolese nationality. The second thing, you have to be at least 18 years old and at most 35, if I'm not mistaken, years old.
Those are requirements and qualities.
Yeah, I'm coming again. And you have to be of a good character. And after that, you have also to, you cannot have, you have to present first, you have to present first your valid criminal. You know, if you have just done, if you didn't do, you were not arrested normally, you have to present some document that often require, the name is flying.
Two last questions before we end our talk show.
Yeah.
Is Congolese police service improvement beyond hope? So why do you say so? Improvements. Can it be improved someday?
Yeah, why we have to be positive, because faith is the preview of is the preview of life coming attraction and the evidence of things not seen. Normally, this is the faith. Normally, like I told you, as a motivator, I cannot say that no. We behind hope that one day the police will get high and we will be surprised of what it will be happening. So we are working on that.
What a strong advice can you give to Congolese policemen watching you now?
I know that they are watching me. I can tell you that this Congo is for you. You know, this Congo is for you. You know, you need to do your job so correctly, and our country will be developed. So don't follow other people. Don't be influenced normally. Congo is for you. Everybody, and together we will build Congo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, Sam.
Yeah, me too. I'm very delighted. It was an interesting show. No, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you yourself, I noticed that our talk show was fascinating. My guest was really knowledgeable. He prepared well the topic so he could get it done correctly by giving strong arguments on what's happening in Congolese society regarding the police and the public order. We are very delighted one more time for your close attention. We'd like you to stay tuned on the second national channel. Bye and next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Here are some highlights of this program.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Brainstorm exclusive interview.
Our education should be corrected, adapted, and updated.
Live better, they can send their children to school because they can interact with their authorities.
Electricity, computer science, innovation,
And we know that it's a brainstorm.
You yourself, after watching this interesting program, notice the final statement made by our notable guest, a brand new one.